Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, October the 11th. Don't forget, Mercury is in retrograde until October the 18th. Mercury in retrograde, you can make mountains out of molehills, you can make the wrong assumptions, you may be more forgetful. So just pay more closer attention during Mercury in retrograde. But on Monday, the moon that sets the public tone is going to be void, of course, until 10:15 a.m. Pacific time, when it then goes into more pragmatic, hardworking, practical Capricorn. Good for business, but not new business because Mercury's in retrograde. The moon void, of course, again, it's going to happen a few times this week. It's when the moon is no longer making aspects to other planets, so there's there's not a lot of emotional activity. And basically, as I try to explain, when you I do a chart called an electional chart, and where so when you are going to be starting a job, starting a trip, launching some content on an internet, sending out an email blast, you would do a chart for that moment of, it's like giving birth to that event. And if the moon is void, of course, the energy is unproductive and flat and may not turn out at all. Plus Mercury's in retrograde. So you just keep on course, stay with the routine until the 18th. Now, Tuesday the 12th, the moon in more grounded, practical Capricorn will be in a stressful angle to Mercury, but a really good angle to the progressive Uranus from about 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. That could mean with the moon to Mercury, you're a little indecisive, and the Mercury's retrograde, you're not quite sure. But then finally you just decide to try something new, get out of the rut. The moon will be in tension with impatient Mars, however, from about 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. And you got to be careful of being more anxious, impulsive. Wednesday is the moon will be now going void, of course, again, with this flat, unproductive energy. And with Mercury in retrograde and the moon void, of course, it is best not to have any major expectations or make any commitments or plans. This moon void, of course, on Wednesday will begin at 3:53 a.m. Pacific time and goes to 1:48 p.m. Pacific time, where the moon goes into Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign that's more futuristic in nature. Capricorn is more about the establishment and the past. But even though the moon is void, of course, for a number of hours on Wednesday, Venus, sociable, charming Venus, creative Venus, will be in harmony with structured Saturn. This is a good day for getting back on track with a relationship, having a good heart-to-heart talk to feel more grounded and more connected, because Venus is the planet of love. But Venus is also a minor planet of money, and Saturn is a business planet. So this could also be very favorable to revising, re-editing business goals and expectations. Thursday, the moon in innovative, quirky Aquarius will be in harmony with communication Mercury from about 10 to 12 noon Pacific time. Very good for meetings and conversations, not announcing new business, but very good for getting everybody on the same page, reviewing your goals. By 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will be a stressful angle to surprising Uranus. But the surprise could be an exciting surprise, not always an upsetting surprise, but emotionally, you're not going to be bored, and you wouldn't want to plan anything where you need stability in that with Moon to Uranus 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. On Friday, the Sun is in harmony with Jupiter. It's called a trine. It happens only twice a year. It puts a real spotlight, that's the Sun, on all things Jupiter in a positive way. Traveling, teaching, marketing, religion, philosophy. But the moon will go void of course, 5:33 a.m. Pacific time until 7:22 p.m. Pacific time, where it then goes into more caring, sensitive Pisces. So the Sun, Jupiter, there's a lot of positive energies, a lot of growth. But with the moon void, of course, it might be better to be turning more inward. And with that Sun, Jupiter would be more favorable for studying or researching and reading. Saturday, the Mercury, retrograde Mercury, will be in harmony with relational Venus. Because it's in harmony, I would say that this is more about trying to make amends, trying to find some middle ground. If there was any misunderstanding or any kind of feelings of tension in a personal relationship, that Saturday could be favorable for reconnecting and hashing things out and getting back on track. Plus the moon, the emotional tone, is in empathetic, sensitive, caring Pisces. Good day for getting back on track. Good day for forgiveness. Sunday, the moon continues in Pisces. It's going to cross over nebulous, foggy Neptune from about 10 to 12 noon Pacific time. And now that's good for meditation, reflection, creativity. But if you're trying to interact with others, that moon Neptune could indicate you're like a bit fuzzy and confused and not really understanding completely what's going on, especially as the Sun is shining on Pluto, but in a challenging way, a couple of times a year. So a Sun Pluto can indicate some power struggles with authorities on the outer. On the inner, it would be very good because Pluto rules the underworld. To be more interested in a lot of meditation and introspection or counseling. Now, the moon is going to go void, of course. Again, this was a very active week for the moon with all this flat energy and Mercury in retrograde. But on Sunday, the moon goes void, of course, at 4:24 p.m. Pacific time into Sunday around 3 a.m. Pacific time. So during all these retrograde, with all these void of course moons with Mercury in retrograde, it's best to just keep to the routine, paying more attention, making sure that what you're hearing is accurate, don't make assumptions. So just take it slow and steady. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. To order it, go to the homepage of astrologyanswers.com, click on the tab that says Advisors, and then scroll down until you find my name, and then that's where you can put in your order for a question that I will answer. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.